The Athletic. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning from the chaotic Amick household. You guys didn't know when you asked for video that you would occasionally get like all of it. You're going to get me with the dad hat. You're going to get the dog growling at neighbors right next to me.
Fine.
It's all welcome.
You guys ever also, you didn't ask for any of this. I'll share anyway. You ever have one of those doors with the little holes in them where someone in the family, like happened this morning with my oldest son, where you accidentally lock the door and you got to sit there and Jimmy rig that thing with the little, you follow me? The little hole and you stick
in the doorknob?
Yes.
Then you got to stick the hanger in it?
Or that other little, like, whatever that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what we've been dealing with here. Fun times.
Well, all fun at the Amick household.
No doubt.
Read that more of The Athletic. Get yourself a subscription. Perfectly curated for your pleasure. Sam, do the last two games matter to you when it comes to your postseason awards?
I mean, no, except that, like, a couple years back, I did vote for Russell Westbrook for MVP, and I don't remember exactly what game it was, but it was pretty late. You know, he had that game in Denver where he put up big numbers and he had a game-winning shot from darn near half court that I believe put the Nuggets out of the playoffs. And that was a very late season game that I probably was going to go that direction anyway, but that game mattered. I mean, Joel Embiid kind of decimating Boston the way he did the other day. That's not the last two games, but it's late. And that type of a game certainly gets put into the calculus. So, I mean, to a very small degree, we got to be careful not to, I know it's cliche or, obvious, but stuff that happens in November and December, those games matter too.
Yep.
So, you try to take everything into account.
Are you a fan of what will now be implemented, the 65 games as a benchmark to have that played to achieve some of these honors?
I think I am. I'm also curious to see, I believe there's going to be more details eventually when everything gets ratified and finalized, kind of exceptions, if you will, to the 65 mark and the 65 rule. So I'm curious to see what those are. I wasn't given any detail on what exactly they would be other than to expect some exceptions. I mean, I do for sure like the idea that, that we're not going to have a 50-game MVP. I mean, part of the reason I voted for Jokic last year was his availability. And, he was not only incredibly impactful and dominant for his team, and they were a lot better than they would have been otherwise, but he was there almost every night.
Why are people mad at you about what you said on your podcast about the Lakers? I didn't hear it, but why are they mad at you? Do you know?
Who's they?
People in the chat are like, oh, Amick's buying the hype about the Lakers. I thought that was interesting. I'd bring it up. Does that ring a bell?
Just your attention, haters, because now I'm buying the hype about the Warriors. I wrote a whole column today. That I think I believe, but it was one of those true story. I woke up and I looked at it and I'm like, all right, I think I buy what I was selling. But, I basically wrote that the Warriors are about to get whole again. And you guys still had me, correct?
Yes. Warriors are about to get whole again.
All right. Well, I've lost my video, but that's okay.
We can see you perfectly.
Yeah,
I think.
So I go to the Warriors game. I know you're asking about the Lakers, but I go to the Warriors game Tuesday night, and I don't know what the Warriors are going to do in the playoffs, but it did just really impress me and kind of strike me how everything they've been through this season. I'm sitting there in this Andrew Wiggins press conference going, my goodness, like this organization just has an incredible ability to navigate crisis. Mm-hmm. And they survived the Draymond Green, Jordan Poole thing. And I think that left a mark. I'm not trying to say it didn't impact their season. I think it did. But I'm watching that Thunder game, and Draymond and Jordan are playing off each other. Draymond even threw a pass out of bounds at one point that was his fault, that was supposed to go to Jordan, and he's giving him a my bad. Like, the vibe was good. The chemistry was good. They win that game. They're going to get Wiggins back. They're going to be whole again. It just kind of blows me away that they're even remotely capable of getting into these playoffs and maybe looking like the defending champs. So I'm buying the Warriors a little bit. the Lakers obviously completely, blanked the bed last night against the Clippers. So the hype train for sure on that side is probably cooling a bit, but the West is going to be fun.
So with that said, Sam, I mean, today, again, we got a couple days left of the season to shuffle this around, but it would be Kings Warriors. How concerned then should the Kings be if that's their matchup?
Very. I think very. I think the Kings Kings Clippers, Clippers might have been the one that I looked at and said, no Paul George. And then you watch that game last night and they were dominant against the Lakers. So every team that they face is going to be very tough. They're probably not going to be favored in any series, and most of them in Vegas. But I actually thought about this morning. I'm watching that Dallas game, and I think the Kings playoffs are, they're going to be maybe the toughest team to handicap of anybody in the West, where the explosiveness and the offense and the potency they have on that end means that, I 100% believe that they can shock the rest of the NBA and win the first round playoff series and get the thing done. But then you watch the Mavericks game and you get reminded that they are certainly guilty of trading buckets, and they had stretches where the defense was okay, but Kyrie was incredible down the stretch, and the defense will remain an issue. And they showed in the New Orleans game that they do have some ability to lock down. But yeah, they're going to have a tough task in the first, no matter who it is.
Sam Amick of The Athletic with us, and talking about the Warriors and like you said, their ability to deal with whether it's Jordan Poole, Wiggins, Bob Myers, possibly impending departure, everything else that goes with that. Pat Riley once famously talked about in depth I think he called it the disease of more that happens with championship teams, dynasties, etc. And it's funny looking back to the end of the Bulls dynasty and all the drama that went with that. The end of the Lakers sort of mini dynasty with Shaq and Kobe. And funny thing is, Phil Jackson was a part of both of those. Steve Kerr is a massive Phil Jackson disciple. Is what's going on with the Warriors this year, first off, comparable in your mind to those other two dynasties? And number two, is this a natural byproduct of dynasties coming to an end?
Yeah, all good things come to an end. Yes, it's a natural byproduct. And it's not analogous to The Last Dance from the standpoint that, Steve Kerr made this point on an interview recently to our Tim Kawakami, that The Last Dance, Jerry Krause had told Phil Jackson he was out. You know what I mean? Nobody's telling Steve Kerr. Steve's got a year left on his deal. Bob Myers is a free agent this summer, but yes, the money is playing a big part in his situation. It's not just about the money. I wrote today that all season long, strong signs that Bob might just be ready for a different challenge or maybe ready for a break. And that also was why when I saw him sitting next to Wiggins at that press conference the other day, it signaled to me that I don't know if Bob's ready to be done yet. He seemed to be fully invested. So it's apples to oranges, but there's Last Dance components. In that interview, Steve told Tim that this is not the last dance, that he believes that this core will continue. Now you've got the Draymond situation. He's got a player option for next year. Does he pick that up? Does he get traded? What do they do there? They've got a lot of stuff to figure out, and it does feel like it's nearing an end, but the playoffs will determine it. It's actually, the Bucks are in a similar situation, even with their ownership change. They have no contracts for Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez. They didn't do extensions. And, I think if they fell flat in the playoffs, then, maybe they look at their core. So it's a gray area Last Dance, I think, for the Warriors, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But, Steph Curry is not going anywhere, and Steph Curry is still playing MVP caliber basketball, and Clay has come back around and had a really strong year. So, they're going to have some of their usual suspects, just a matter of how good they'll be.
Do they think it'll be that seamless, though, with Wiggins? That's a lot of time that he missed.
I don't know. Jay, that's the part where I looked at my column this morning and I was like, hey, buddy, you haven't even seen him play yet. Like, what? So I don't know. Like, he was up on the podium and, we were guilty, the reporters, of doing the eyeball test, right? And we're kind of going, it looks like he lost a little muscle tone. And, even like the way he characterized his training regimen, if you can call it that, was he declined the Warriors' invitation to have somebody from their staff come oversee his training. Okay. So he had a personal trainer, but he did not have a Warriors person with him. And I forget all the specifics, but he did not convince me that he was out there in beast mode, working hard every single day. He clearly was working out, but at the same time, they're talking like he, likely will play this weekend, either Friday or Sunday. So, we'll see if that happens.
Last thing for you, Sam. It sounds like Mike Brown is still the favorite to be coach of the year. De'Aaron Fox, probably the favorite to be the Jerry West Clutch Player Award winner. So Domantas Sabonis, a favorite to make one of the 3 All-NBA teams. So I got to ask you, can you give me a legitimate? I'm putting you in this bad spot here. Don't just do it to do it, though. Can you give me a legitimate argument for somebody else over Monty McNair for Executive of the Year?
For one, I feel compelled that like the Kings put out material about Monty, and I don't know. Teams do that, and it's like it's not a media award. We don't vote on executive,
right.
So that's my disclaimer. Somebody other than Monty, man, you are putting me on the spot. Yeah, I mean James Jones in Phoenix would get love for getting Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
A big time move like that.
Does Pelinka get noticed for the Lakers?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for doing my job for me. Yeah, Pelinka does
that.
For sure. NBA insider Carmichael Dave. Yeah, I mean Pelinka for sure. Especially if it was a media award, we love our narratives, and that's a guy who we've been hammering for a long time for not doing enough, and they did good work. I mean, those are kind of the only ones that come to mind. I don't know, Jay Ross, if anything comes to mind for you.
Cleveland, maybe Colby Altman.
Yeah, well, and that goes into the timeline. That's all
Mitchell, and now they make the playoffs.
Well, and what's funny is I think Monty McNair should run away with it. Obviously, I'm biased, but I really do. But Sam, I have no problems admitting that over the last 12 months, in my mind, we're going to look back 5 years from now. The best job done by any executive was in Utah. And I know you can't vote that way, but Danny Ainge has done that's scary.
The Monty thing, if you're talking about the award, like I don't know if he gets credit for he's not getting credit this season for the Sabonis Halliburton trade.
Well, he should.
It's not how it works, buddy. You want credit for something you did in 2015?
Yes.
I always want the credit.
Of course I do. Are you kidding me? I'm getting credit for driving a stupid bus in 2013, dude. I'm all for that for life.
That's right. I heard the Reddit crowd. You saved the Kings, Dave. Oh
God. Sam, they hate me. They hate me. They love you. They hate me.
If you want consultation offline about your approval rating, I can help you.
Appreciate
also, I know we're leaving, but stop shaming me about my hat. I come on this show and you're casual, and I try to like vibe with you, and then you give me a hard time about my hat.
I love your hat. I said it's backwards. Look, I'm wearing a dumb backwards hat. You're actually in a nice zip up thingy dingy. I mean, come on, man. We want you to feel comfortable, brother.
I'm repping. There it is.
You're repping. All right. That's Sam Amick of The Athletic. Feel comfortable with paying for a subscription. I think it's like $1 a month. I'm comfortable paying my $24 a month, and it's a steal at twice the price, in my opinion, for talented writers like Matt Barrows, Jason Jones. Also, Sam Amick writes for them as well. Thank you, buddy. And
if you Venmo me $12 a month, I'll just give you my log on, and then you'll save a little money.
Well done, Sam.
It's a side hustle.
Yeah.
He's got college for a couple kids coming up here real quick.
That's true.
All right, buddy. Say hi to the family. Take care. Don't lock yourself in anywhere.
Thank you.
Bye. That is Sam Amick of The Athletic. We went along with him. When we come back, we'll clean all that up and more. Coming up right after this.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on